All righty. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for tuning in again to South Florida Sunday with me, Marian Dozier of TYS Media, and as you know, also of CocoWire.net. We have two guests on today's show, and they're going to talk separately about two different events that they're hosting, both in West Palm Beach, both community-focused, one on Saturday, May 18th, and one the next day, Sunday, May 18th, which, of course, is a week from today. And, of course, if you need to find more community-focused events occurring across Palm Beach County, and in some cases into South Florida, visit CocoWire.net. That's CocoWire.net, and click on the calendar. In fact, the two events that we're going to be talking about today are already on the calendar. So y'all be sure to go on there and check it out. All right. Our first guest today is Nyota King, whom we love to call Miss Africa. That's because she knows about, loves, studies, and visits the continent. And indeed, she's sponsoring trips to the continent next month and again in 2020. And she told me before we started on the show, she's got a handful, about a half a dozen people who are going, which is just great. So hopefully we'll have time to hear a little bit more about that. She also has a business selling African jewelry, clothing, and other wares called All About Us. But she's here today to talk to us about Black Empowerment Day, a celebration of Malcolm X's birthday, which will be held from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on next Sunday, May 19th, in West Palm Beach. Then, after Miss Africa, we're going to talk next with Pam Frazier, the founder of the West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition, which will host its third annual Family Mental Health and Wellness Festival on the day before Saturday, May 18th, on the day before Miss Africa's event, focused on breaking the silence of mental illness, primarily in communities of color. But first, we're going to talk to Miss Africa. The celebration of Malcolm X is happening on his birthday, May 19th, here in West Palm, as I said. And then Malcolm X, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all surely recall, was an American Muslim who was active and well known during the Civil Rights Movement, and one of the early and most influential leaders of the Nation of Islam. He was killed in 1965, allegedly by members of the nation, and while some praise him for his strong advocacy for the rights of Black Americans, others accuse him to this day of preaching racism and violence. So he's not someone, Miss Africa, that we usually hear about being celebrated for whatever reason, but welcome to the show, Miss Africa.
Yes. Good morning, kings and queens. We are having this celebration.
And tell us why.
Okay, we're having it again May 19th. That's a Sunday from 11 to 6 in West Palm Beach. You could go online and we have a flyer going out. The address is 640 LA Kirksey Street, West Palm Beach, Florida 33401.
Which is also the same as 15th Street for y'all old timers.
Yeah, for the old timers.
Like me.
So right in the heart of the community. And the reason why we're having this celebration, one, is to bring recognition to other great leaders of the civil rights movements other than Martin Luther
MLK
King
and
Rosa Parks, because there were a number of people fighting for Black people to have justice around this country.
But he was really, what is the word we want to use? Controversial. And I don't hear much down here about celebrating him as opposed to, as you said, MLK. So what do y'all want to accomplish? Why him?
Why him? Well, because we want to shed light on that and break misconceptions. If many of you know, if you've seen the movie or studied Malcolm X's history, he did start off on the rough side, on the wrong side of the law, one. Mm-hmm. Also, when he did convert, he was having a message of an eye for an eye, basically, and a tooth for a tooth. Mm-hmm. But
I'll never forget that picture of him standing with that gun, looking out the window like, okay.
Yeah,
if it's some trouble like that, right.
But sometimes we need that. We need war. We need people to stand up for themselves, because if they don't, we'll keep getting hurt, killed, mistreated, and have injustices brought to us. So that's one reason why we chose Malcolm X, because he was a strong leader. And later in life, once he learned the religion of Islam, he changed and he was more passive, you know. And that's what life is also all about, change.
Yeah, because I remember I read his bio, and I remember that when he went, did Mecca, in Saudi Arabia, I think that was in right before he died, it completely changed him. Yes. And in fact, I have a quote here that he said after he went on that trip, he said, that seeing all of these Muslims and I quote, Muslims of all colors, from blue-eyed blondes to black-skinned Africans, interacting as equals, led him to see Islam differently and led him to even look at relationships between, different people differently.
Yes, that is true. You have to treat each person as an individual, no matter what color, sex they are. So that's what we should try to strive for, and remember him as he was later in life.
Yeah.
Because that's what the growth is about.
That's what growth, and that's what I was thinking about too, as I was kind of doing my research. I was like, he was kind of, he was really radicalized and angry for lots of, understandable reasons. Yes. But then he grew and he changed. Yes. Yeah, and I hate, sometimes I wonder, what would he be like if he were still alive? Today, yes. Yeah, how would he... what would he be pushing for? What would he be representing? Because I know he wasn't in the nation anymore. He ended up leaving there too, right before he died. But but tell us about the event. I know it's free and open to the public, but what's going to be happening that day?
It's free and open to the public. We have live performances, a local rap group, Men of Black. I'm partnering with them to have this celebration. Also, the RBC, Red, Black, and Green Coalition is teaming up. We're going to have small classes for yoga.
Oh.
Yeah, yoga. So we had live performances, yoga, dance classes, activities for the children. So that bring your kids out.
So family friendly.
It's very family friendly. We want to bring the community out, get out the house, get some vitamin D from the sun, and just enjoy ourselves,
And now I know that this one of your sponsors is Living the Rhythm.
Yes, that's the drum circle.
Yes.
That is held every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
At Harold's Coffee. It starts about 8 o'clock in the evening, and then it goes on until like 11.
Do you go often?
Not now because of my work schedule, but when I have the opportunity, I do go through.
So are there going to be some African drummers there too?
There are going to be African drummers.
Oh.
Yeah. Different poets performing. We're going to have poets.
And feel free to get in the conversation if you want to, Miss Frazier. I'm sorry if you have anything you want to ask Miss Africa. It's fine. You can join in.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're looking for this to be an annual event. So look forward to it next year as well. Try to like I said before, bring the community out. And in August, we're going to have a Marcus Garvey Day, which is another...
August of this year?
August of this year.
Closer. Okay.
Yeah, August of this year. So that'll be another free community event you can look forward to as well.
And y'all going to have it in the same location?
Correct.
On L.A. Kirksey / 15th Street. Yes, now, why are y'all calling this Malcolm X birthday event Black Empowerment Day? Because
we want to exhibit how powerful we are. We're going to have vendors there, so black entrepreneurs. We're going to have black performers there. Every talent is going to be shown there. So we want to just awaken that in the people. Everybody has a talent. So when you awaken that in someone, that encourages them and that empowers them to focus on their own talent and give to others.
So will the local Nation of Islam study group be there?
they're welcome to come if they would like. We haven't made contact with them.
Oh, okay.
They are welcome.
That would be interesting to have them there and see what their current day theory is.
Yes.
And where we are and where we're going.
That would be interesting.
Because I just found out not long ago that there is a West Palm Beach branch of the nation.
It's down on Rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
They meet at Cityside Suites.
The
third Tuesday after.
You just happen to know that.
I just happen
okay.
to know because they meet right after we have our meetings on the third Tuesday of every month. The West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition.
And y'all meet there too at Cityside
right
Suites.
At 401 North
Really?
Yes.
So are they popular? Do people come and I mean I don't know if you ever noticed, or maybe I shouldn't say, but
I don't know about what you mean by popular.
Yeah.
I do know that the brothers who come, they're people who I have met since I've been here in Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
They're very personable, very interactive, and they talk about what they do, and they have a sense of pride about what they do. They hold their board meeting in the utmost confidential manner.
Yeah, I just met them, and I do have, like, Cocoa Wire has their meetings on there, but I really did not know they were active here because I never really heard anything about them. But apparently they do. They have, 3 regular meetings a week.
What I like about them, no matter what time our meetings of the West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition, I have these meetings.
Yeah.
I bring in a community mental health resource, and they turn out to be kind of like workshops, but there are a lot of women and men. And the group that you're referencing, the gentlemen, they are polite enough to get up anytime there's a woman leaving to go out to her car. There's always someone who breaks away to go and walk that woman or female to her car. And I
safely.
like that about them. Yes.
Oh.
Well, I remember them when I was coming up.
Really?
Yeah, they were
here locally.
Larger. Yes, much larger years ago.
And see, and that's what I sometimes wonder too. Are they not as popular today because our country is, more fair or different, or, because I don't hear people talking about the nation really anymore. And in fact, even though I don't know if y'all heard, but Facebook just put Louis Farrakhan off, along with the crazy,
the other dude.
Yeah, the other crazy. Well, I shouldn't. I want to say. I want to say the crazy white Republicans, but no. Anyway,
but
yeah, yes. Thank you. Better word. Yes. Yeah, but and I watched. Nobody has talked about that he was also put off in addition to these crazy white extremists, but he was put off too. So I don't know. I guess people do still support their beliefs and things, but. I don't know.
In other ways.
In other ways.
Are online now, so.
Yes, including your your business.
Yes, my website is born.
Yes.
Yes, it launched back in May. No, not May. In March. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It launched back in March.
All About Us. 561.com. Yes. African, and she has very high quality African clothing and jewelry and all kind of stuff. Book bags, shirts and pants.
Yeah, pants.
Now, before you go though, tell us. I mentioned at the front end that you have these trips that you planned to Africa.
Correct.
One is going to be next month. One is going to be next year. Why are you doing this? What's the story? What's the backstory?
I wanted to share my experiences with others, why I'm going, why I want to take people, I open their eyes up of the misconceptions of the continent of Africa.
Of us.
Yes. Of
people.
Us,
Yes.
Period.
I agree.
Africa is a beautiful continent with beautiful people, all different shades of dark, chocolate, whatever you want to call it, beautiful shades. And so I just
even though they're cake soap more than anybody else in the rest of the world. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to share my experience with others. So this first trip we're going on is going to be June 9th.
Wow.
22nd.
Wow.
It's a 15-day tour.
Good for you.
Yeah, we are going out of Miami, and we'll be going to 2 countries, Senegal and the Gambia.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Why those 2? Just curious.
Those are the ones that I was familiar with that I went to before.
Oh, okay.
And then the Gambia is an English-speaking country, so I think that people will get to communicate better with their local people.
Have a much richer, probably, experience. Yeah.
And next year is Ghana, correct?
And next year is going to be Ghana. And Ghana is like the Hollywood, New York of Africa. Everybody wants to go to Ghana. It's a beautiful country. They also speak English there. They have a lot of programs. It's helping Black Americans reestablish themselves there. A lot of Black Americans are moving. When I get enough money, I'm gone. I'm telling you now, Marian, I'm gone. But,
if you want me, you got to get me through WhatsApp, okay?
Okay. But they have programs there to help you buy land, get established.
Really?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm surprised you're not going to Nigeria, though, because that's the Africa that I always think about.
Yeah, I'm going to make it there
eventually. Yeah.
But I just go there.
Good for you. Well, thank you, Miss Lady. Now, tell us one last time here before we switch over to our other Miss Lady, how people can get information on your big event, which is the celebration of the birthday of Malcolm X.
The celebration of Malcolm X's birthday.
Right.
Online, Facebook, at Living in the Rhythm, or All About Us page.
Mm-hmm. Or Cocoa Wire, yes.
And Cocoa Wire, thank you.
Thank you. .net, yes.
We have local flyers that we are passing out. So if anybody has any questions, please contact those names I just said.
Yeah, and on the flyer it says if there's any questions, you can call Mo Blackness 80. That's MO Blackness 80 at gmail.com. Or call 561-909-8050. Or like Miss Africa said, just check on social media or on CocoaWire.net. Did you say that? You did say Cocoa Wire, right? Yes, ma'am. So
good information.
All right, very good. Thank you. So now we're going to bring in Miss Pamela Frazier.
Thank you.
To talk about a different event, and this one is going to be next Sunday, a week from today.
No, it's on Saturday, May 18th.
Oh, Marian, sorry. That was fake news. Don't tell our orange president. Sorry. It's going to be Saturday, May 18th. Pamela Frazier is here. She is the founder of the West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition. And they're going to host this 3rd annual Family Mental Health and Wellness Festival, which is also free and open to the public and will be held from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. next week, Saturday, at the JFK Medical Center in West Palm Beach. So
it is a free event.
Yes. And you created this organization, 2016, for a singular purpose, as I recall, because you wanted to start conversations in communities of color about mental health.
Most certainly.
About available resources and why we need to let go of this sort of Black people stigma that, attached to illness, issues related to mental illness,
You're
right?
absolutely correct. And, the stigma doesn't just affect the Black or African Americans. It is prevalent in most cultures. And, we also invite, Hispanics, we invite the Caribbean folks, the Haitians, the Africans, everyone. We have some form of this. What I do is I run a monthly meeting, and now we call them
at Cityside Suites. Everybody, just like
Suites.
The Nation of Islam, yes.
From 5:30 to 7:30 the third Tuesday of every month. And what I do is I bring in established mental health resources to talk to the community and try to decipher what it means to have depression, what it means to have what does stigma mean? Because
right.
We had for the past 3 months we've gone through stigma
discussions.
Yeah, we've had very bright women. We've had Sabrina Harris. We've had Janice Griffin. All these folks with a licensed clinical social worker. That's what she is.
Yeah.
And we just recently had for the ending of that series, a woman by the name of Fartun Mohamud.
Oh,
Right.
she sounds like she's from your country, Miss Africa.
She is from Africa.
She's African.
She
oh.
is East African, but she came and she was very well talked about the stigmas that exist and how they, in her country, tend to not address it, but put it on something else that might have come about as because of the culture that they have coming. And they might blame it on, I don't want to call it a zombie, but she referred to different people, what they call a Jillian or whatever. But no, what we do here in West Palm Beach is we start conversations so that people can look at the issues that are confronting them. And, we talk about, you've heard things about 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 people have mental illness. I tend to disagree with that conception.
Well, you think it's more or less? Or?
I think it's more. It's
really?
almost a one-on-one because everyone suffers from some form of anxiety.
We were talking about it earlier.
Right. And depending on the degree of anxiety, that formulates or determines whether you have a true mental illness. Coming on this show this afternoon, I said I'm going to have some form of anxiety. I had a form of anxiety because my husband said, don't come in there with no when you talk. So I want to share with you what we're actually doing. Now, this event is the 3rd annual Family Mental Wellness Festival. And if you notice, I don't call it fair anymore. I call it a festival because I don't want to say but because I have a committee of folks and that meet with me on a monthly basis, not just the community, but other organizations who have an opportunity to talk with one another and share information, such as, we have who come and sit on a regular basis. JFK sits on my community membership, is a member of our committee.
Well, you've got a whole lot of big ballers on your committee. I was looking at those. I mean, golly. Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, Jerome Golden Center, Palm Beach County Youth Services, Boca Raton Promise.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I was encouraged to start a conversation here in West Palm Beach with the minority community as a result of my affiliation with Boca Raton's Promise organization, because I had been working with that organization to spread an awareness of mental health, mental illness.
And tell us what is Boca Raton Promise, because they do work with mental illness.
They do.
And stuff.
They do pretty much the same thing we do, but only on a larger scale.
They've been at it a longer time.
They've been at it a much longer time. Actually, they started back in 1999.
Wow.
As a result of, I believe it was Ronald Reagan, Colin Powell, and the third Clinton, the one who was the president.
Bill Clinton
came here to Florida to start something concerning the ability of people to understand. Help. Now, I don't mean to mumble. I don't mean to do that, but I'm trying.
Yes, I don't want to report you to your husband.
He's probably listening.
I'm only kidding. But yes.
No, but they came here to help instill a spirit of wellness here and bring the government involved, get the government involved as well. But
why did Pam Frazier get involved? I mean, what's your personal experience with mental illness, or do you have any?
I have a couple. I have a family member who had come here to a young one of my youngest family members who came down to visit. He had been here before. He came down to visit with some friends and so forth, and got into an altercation with some of his friends that he met. And the brothers, they just said, "Hey man, if you can't handle it, just bounce."
Right.
So he bounced, but he didn't tell us that he
didn't bounce in a good way.
No. They did. When we didn't see him in 2 days.
Oh my!
We were like frantic. We didn't know what to do, where to go, until the police showed up at our front door and said that he had been Baker acted. So what had happened was my family up north, and this is something that happens too often. We don't share with others within our own family.
In other words, his peeps up north did not tell his peeps down south that he had that
he was on medication.
And had a little instability.
And what he did was he gets into this frame of mind. It's only himself. He gets his own spiritual thing, and he started walking. And he started walking so far that what he did was he laid down He broke into someone's car, this man's car.
To get some rest.
You're absolutely correct.
Right.
To get rest. He didn't break in to steal anything. He just needed a place to go to sleep. And thank God the man that came out didn't blow him away, but he actually called the police and they arrested him. But
thank God it didn't happen in this day, because
And that's what
Wow.
That was my first experience with Jerome Golden, and because of that, my husband and I both investigated it a lot further, because when we went to see him in this place, we could only visit him between, I believe it was 8 and 9, and when we went in, he was just in this room full of people.
Wow.
Things that
not focused.
Correct.
And
correct. And he didn't know who I was, but when he realized it, and my nephew he's a very handsome young man, if I say so myself, but he's like 6'3".
Oh my goodness.
And all he could do was just grab me and just started crying. He just couldn't, because he needed us. But that started my investigation of what can we do to help our own.
Wow, but you know that's really interesting, because you had a 25-year career working for the county in business, small and minority business development, and that's a big
25
different
years of it. 25
leap.
years. I retired March 31st of 2017.
And you had already started the coalition by then,
I had, and in fact, I told my husband that April 1st, it was a Saturday morning. I got up at like 3 in the morning. I said, I want to go to the beach. I want to see the sunrise. And I did. We went to the beach and watched the sun come up around 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And all I could do is I just wanted to ask God, what do you have for me next? What's next? And that's how it actually opened up and moved on.
And Miss Africa's nodding her head. You know that you had that same feeling, had the same kind of discussions. What am I going to do next with something that it really means?
Right.
Something.
And it's like something instinctive in you saying it's time.
Change. Yeah. So tell us about the event, the big event that's coming on next week Saturday.
We will have approximately and I'm really pleased. The thing is growing. We're bringing on more folks.
You've got it. It's very impressive. I mean, the people that you've got involved, when you see this flyer, ladies and gentlemen, it's huge. It's really great. Well, especially consider you've done it in just a few years.
Yes, in the first year. Well, May is Mental Health Month. And the third weekend in May is the weekend of faith for that the clergy would like this represented. And when I first started the West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition, I was asked by an assistant pastor, really of my church, to why don't I try to do something on the third Thursday, like have some type of affair. And that's when I started off at the Salvation Army in West Palm Beach.
Oh, the one down on Rosemary.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then I went to the UB Kinsey, which is a beautiful location, but again was smaller. But now we were able to, with the help of JFK, they have partnered with us from the standpoint they're offering the facility. They gave us the booth, the table, the table covers. All I ask, for community mental health resources, nonprofits, we do not charge them a fee. They make themselves available for the community to walk in and talk to them. It is our feelings that if you allow someone to actually come in with their family and walk around in a fun-filled atmosphere, family-friendly atmosphere, they will be more apt to ask about services provided by any one of our providers. And we also tell the providers that if you see someone who you feel really needs to have counseling and you've connected with them, we provide a room where they can go and make an appointment.
On site.
Wow. We don't want you to do counseling.
That is.
But we want you to be able to make that appointment.
Interesting. So, have you found that in the past that people who come there are people who have some?
Yes.
Wow, really?
Most certainly, yes, we have. And in fact, people have talked with me about wanting to do something, and I find that, you can't just take anyone who's suffering from a mental illness that's affiliated with an organization, because they have rules about what they can actually talk about or whatever. But we can get them to do a one-on-one with someone and come up with some kind of strategy to help. I also want to share with you that all of the organizations, when they come to our meetings, it's not just talking to the community,
Mm-hmm.
they're talking to one another. And that's very important. We have, the WEN of Palm Beach County. We have talking with, the Friends of Justice. Eta Phi Beta is a black sorority, a black religious-based sorority that I joined. That they're my SARS, who I joined when I first came to Palm Beach County. I've been a member since 1995 because I wanted to meet people. They, in fact, are assisting us this year because they're actually taking over our registration and handling the registration.
But the real question I have is, we only got a couple minutes, but give me a sense of, why is mental illness such a difficult discussion for us? I mean, does mental illness, discussing, does that mean that you're crazy if you have mental illness?
No. And
is that why?
That's something that's a part of that stigma, using terminology like crazy. Or whatever. It's a brain, you might be having a brain deformity. I have a woman who suffers from schizophrenia. And when I attended sessions, because I go around and I go to different groups like NAMI, and NAMI in Lake Worth has an active group that they will come and share with you how it feels to have schizophrenia. I was standing there. They asked me a question to explain about my family and where I come from and so forth. And I got up and I was going to,
share.
Showcase,
yes, of course.
But what they did was they had someone come behind me and start talking in my ear while I was talking. And I'm like, why is this shaking it off? But they're saying that's what's happening when you go through the schizophrenia. You hear
these are the voices.
Can't get rid of them. You're focused. But can you really embellish or engage everyone around you? And
it's interesting you bring up NAMI, the National Association of Mental Illness, because I did some research, and one of the things that I read, and tell me if you feel like this is true, but do we as black people tend to turn to our faith systems more than? Well, because that's one of the things NAMI kind of said in this research, that instead of our being willing to reach out, and get help and maybe, visit a psychiatrist or a psychiatrist, we tend to go to church and pray and say, oh, Lord, I know I'm going crazy, but please take this out of my head. And do you find that? Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely right. And I do agree. Yeah. And having faith is a beautiful thing, but we also need to realize that there's something wrong internally. You don't go to we want to pray away cancer, but it's something that's happening internally in your body. But we want to.
I promise I won't tell.
Okay. But there's other things that you can do, and that's one of the reasons why we're trying to engage many of the churches. When I first started off back in 2016, I worked with the Boca Raton's Promise, and we met at Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. It was about 38 different pastors or religious persons. We had Quaker, we had Episcopalian, we had Black Baptist ministers, we had
AME.
And we even had a two rabbi who came. And it was an interesting discussion with everyone around the table that we found that mental health or mental illness does not discriminate. It affects every one of us. So we're learning to open up and be more pronounced with it. On a monthly basis, I'm not only asking that we bring in families, I'm asking all of the churches if they would at least have one representative come, because many pastors are overwhelmed with all of what they have to do. And in fact, if you notice on this festival, it's one of I wanted more pastors to attend.
Yes.
So we have, if the pastor with the most congregants who attends this particular event will win a $1 donation for their church. It's not,
not $1. You're saying
we'll receive money. We'll
yes,
big money as far as we're concerned, it's big money. But it's a donation from the West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition.
Wonderful.
For attending this event, because we want to get more and more folks involved and engaged and understand.
All right. So, now we're out of time here, but just tell us how people can find out more information about attending the big event.
We can go to cocowire.net.
Yay!
Or you can go into the West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition.com.
And that's WPB, not spelling it out, right?
It's spelling it out. West Palm Beach, I don't know, that was a mistake in the beginning.
Oh,
but West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition.com, which is our website. Or you can
make sure you spell it right. Yes.
You can call 517-8003. That's area code 561-517-8003.
Perfect. All right. Our two ladies were all done. In fact, I think we ran over. But thank y'all so much for coming. Nyota King, who is here, y'all don't forget, she's pushing the Malcolm X birthday, Black Empowerment Day on Sunday, May 19th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in West Palm Beach. And then Ms. Pamela Frazier with the
West Palm Beach Mental Health Coalition.
Thank you.
The third annual Family Mental
Health and Wellness Festival. Yay. On Saturday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the JFK Medical Center in West Palm Beach. So thank y'all for coming on the show today.
Thanks, I appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
And thank y'all for tuning in once again. And we are so sorry the Mayor Masters was not able to join us. We still call him the mayor, even though he didn't win in March, but he will forever be my mayor. My name is Marian Dozier, tysmedia.net. Thank y'all for tuning in. Talk to you next Sunday.
Thank you.